Hello and welcome to Starcraft 2 Amateur Hour.
Where our motto and our mantra is be powerful.
Be powerful.
Power.
Been training our Starcraft casting skills, and we are ready to just
Give you the most powerful Starcraft 2 commentary that exists.
We are casting a game between two Starcraft 2 Amateur Hour regulars, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess so.
I would go as far as calling you a regular on Starcraft 2 Amateur Hour.
I'm sort of a regular.
I mean, the fact that you're here every week
Yeah.
kind of plays into that.
Yeah. I'm Negative Suns.
And I'm Guns Akimbo, and we are casting a game where Negative Suns goes against Grog.
Who's maybe one of the best people that I know.
At StarCraft, and maybe in real life.
Maybe, you never know. Those things are usually the same.
They are. So we are already going for an economic build with Zerg. 13 drones out already, and no pool in sight.
Yeah.
So let's see what's happening at Negative
I like
Space.
seeing Zergs that are willing to go for like a strong economic game. I mean, I feel like it shows like a little bit of I don't know. It just shows an attitude that I like better. It's an awareness, a certain kind of like, okay, yeah, I can play a normal game.
I really do feel like Zerg, again, is much easier to play as an economic race.
But I feel like a lot of players feel the pressure to be aggressive as Zerg, and I feel like when I see a player go for that economic build, I just feel like this is a confident Zerg.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think the aggressive nature really is a carryover from the idea of StarCraft 1 and even just the way the race comes across.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are going for a 16 expand for Zerg. Spawning pool going down after the first expansion goes down, followed by a gas. So this is a great economic build, but at this point you've spotted all this.
Yeah, I saw it all with my scout.
There is that moment right now where you know how vulnerable he is, and
Yeah. That early expansion when you go hatchery first is very vulnerable early because the Zerg's gonna that the Zerg is gonna want to make as many drones as possible. That's what he wants to do.
and because that will put him in the lead as long as he doesn't receive that pressure or feel like he's under pressure. This will put him in the lead for the just even mid late game, even the late early game. So pool finally popping, and what are we gonna see out of him? Still no unit. Oh,
Two
just
Zerglings, and that's
it.
really nice. I like that. 2 Zerglings because it's just the minimal. It's very minimal. It's focusing on drones. He's still droning.
So as a Protoss player, when you see this, now that you've scouted this entire thing, just in general, not even in this game, do you feel like it would have been better to maybe chrono boost some zealots out and try to get some economic damage down early? Or are you confident in being like, okay, well, I see what he's doing, and I'm just going to focus on army now and meet him in some kind of battle?
Well, I might have spent some chrono boost on zealots. I don't remember exactly, but I do think that it's important to get zealots out quickly. If what you're going for is some sort of aggression, then getting zealots out quickly is important. But you can do that in multiple ways. You can. It's also. I mean, there's variations like there's with everything in StarCraft. You could go for a very fast chrono boost attack with zealots, or you can go for 2 gates, zealots, and then chrono boost your nexus, so that way you have a strong economy behind your aggression to carry you through after the aggressive period's over. So I mean, it's all a matter of it all comes down to economy, how you feel like you're going to come ahead the most. A lot of times when that aggression serves no purpose other than to make him make Zerglings, when you're not trying to do damage, just trying to keep him from making drones, I feel like the best thing you can do is still have a strong economy back home because you haven't done any damage.
Okay. One thing I'm a little bit surprised about in this game is that we have seen 2 extractors both go down pretty early in Grog's build, yet we're only seeing a Roach Warren right now.
Yeah.
Gas is building up pretty heavy, so it's really that kind of thing makes me think, are we going to see essentially Mutalisks in this game? We do see Zergling speed upgrade going down and an Evo chamber going down, so maybe it's just going to be a very heavy evolution build with Roaches and Zerglings, but seeing gas that early always intrigues me and always makes my mind think, especially as a player scouting someone else, of what's he going for exactly.
Yeah. Well, and another interesting thing to note right now is the chrono boost on the gateways. I think that this tactic is where you save up enough chrono boost to chrono boost all of your gateways to get that. See, the mentality is that it doesn't matter if you chrono boost your first zealot if you're waiting for your second. If you're going for a rush, the best thing to do is to chrono boost the last round of zealots so that your attack is sped up somewhat.
Oh wow, okay. So I guess that makes sense, especially with 3 gateways. It doesn't matter when you use it, and then also you have them if you decide, okay, I want an extra one for an upgrade now too. You are getting out your observer first with this robo facility over any kind of immortal. So I guess at this point you're pretty intrigued at what's going on in his base now that you know there's an expansion.
Well, I think is I do know. I'm pretty sure I know that there's an expansion, right?
Yeah.
I have seen that, I believe. So yeah, I have seen the expansion. He actually is getting his third expo at his gold minerals. But against Zerg, I feel like it's very important to check for the spire, and that's the main purpose of trying to get a scout in, because that spire is really the most dangerous thing that Zerg can do if you're unprepared for it. I'm sure that anybody who follows the show and saw, I think 2 episodes ago, it was a first person with me dying to Mutalisks.
Well, I
think it's something that mid-level Protoss players should really make sure to check for.
And realistically, the only thing you would really need to check for... Oh, and that's a great force field right there. Coming in for an attack. Going to block... Whoa, just continue to block all these Zerglings back. Luckily for Grog, these spine crawlers are here.
But the timing of the attack is such that the spine crawlers are just going to get out with barely really enough time to do any damage. And with this number of sentries, I can essentially keep his ramp force fielded indefinitely.
Forever. Wow.
As long as it takes to kill off his expansion and drones.
This expansion is falling so quick. And even Grog's saying, wow, because that's awesome. And it's just so frustrating to be locked in your base like that.
The interesting thing about this, too, is that the drones also have nowhere to go. So they're forced to run to the middle of the map where they're going to be just as vulnerable as they are in the base. He's forced to hide them in a corner of the map.
And
somewhere.
that's still just a great move. You know, just saving whatever you can. My point before, just to get back to real quickly,
middle map
is. Oh, okay. I'll get to that point later.
So he finally is allowed to get out of his
and
his
doing
base.
a fair amount of damage. Not killing really anything, I don't think, but still.
I mean, it's good when you consider the fact that he only attacked with Zerglings.
Yeah.
It's not like he lost a tremendous amount of resources there.
Exactly.
He has lost a lot, but that's really a lot of that is drones at this point. So.
My point before about you checking for Mutalisks, and a great way to check for Mutalisks, especially if you know the Zerg player has an expansion, is to see if there's even one gas down at the expansion.
Oh, really?
Because that's the amount of gas that Mutalisks take and higher level units take. You need at least that one gas, because a lot of times players are going for that expansion and they're just using the minerals because they're using roaches or hydras or just Zerglings. That third and possibly fourth gas are key signs that you might be dealing with mute. So even if you can't get in, just try to check the edges to see if you can see the gas.
That's really good. That's something that I should definitely work on. And actually, so I was fortunate to find this base of his. I didn't really scout it.
And you really only found that, I think, because his
I call it the
drones.
transfer.
Yeah, drones leading you there.
Yeah.
So, and that's just I don't know. Grog is just in a crap place right now because losing 2 bases and really you've lost nothing.
Yeah. I mean, my natural isn't really mining yet. I've been focusing on making units, but I do have my tech pretty far along. And I should be making pros. That would be good.
But you have, 5 gateways now?
Yeah.
All of them forming into warp gates. Immortal is just pouring out of your one robo bay. And these drones just forced to long distance transfer anywhere they can. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, I think that that the advantage that you're seeing here is the result of that early push. The timing of that was just perfect for Protoss for me. And using the sentries to keep the ramp clogged up really allowed me to take advantage of that timing.
And I think that's also one lesson that I've personally learned going against Protoss is once you have your expansion down, hotkey your unit, rally your units to be outside your expansion.
Bottom of the ramp.
Because that is such a tactic that is used, I wouldn't say so often, but often enough.
Yeah.
That it just teaches you so quickly. Just rally where they cannot screw you like that.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, it is definitely, if he had his Zerglings at the bottom of his ramp, maybe even mixed into his drone line somewhat, he would have been safer to that. You have to realize that on creep, those Zerglings are fast enough that they can get back to your ramp and keep your. I think you get worried about somebody getting up your ramp, but with the speed of Zerglings, you don't really have to be worried about that.